No, not to confuse. I'm coming. Ask whether there's a contract or not. Now, let me start by saying that Woyome led a consortium, right? And this consortium
was called what?
Vamed and Waterville. Waterville also came into the contract. All was about the building of the stadia.
And we are talking specifically, specifically. The document I have seen, we are talking specifically about Ohenijan and Elwak.
Yes.
Rehabilitation and construction.
Fine. If Woyome goes to court, right, and says that I have done some services, and his capacity to come is not questioned, I don't think it is the business of the judge to question capacity of Woyome. As we even speak now, I won't want to go into the detail. Even Vamed and the other members of the consortium says that they are taking on Woyome because they also need part of the money. Yes, they agree to the fact that he's done some work with them, but all the money should not go to him. That matter, as I speak now, is pending before the court. So I won't go to that area.
Money should not go to him. Do you mean him or his company?
No.
When you say him,
it's a consortium that he led. He was part of a consortium.
So the money should not go to his company.
Should not go to him personally alone. Should not go to him alone.
So why did the money go to him?
Because he went and said that I led the consortium, pay the money to me.
And the government agreed.
Yes. Now he asks another question, that is there any contract, right? Public Procurement Act was passed in the 2003, right? And tender processes, it aligns, it tells about the processes and procedure by which we go when tender is done. You start from the entity, that's Ministry of Education, goes to other, and ends up with the Central Tender Board. After it is successful, right, Section 65 makes it clear that no party should do anything, because the contract has been ascertained. If the person is successful, it is ascertained. You cannot do anything to prevent coming in of the contract.
Are you talking Woyome or Vamed?
I'm talking about this contract. Woyome is part of Vamed. Let it be clear to everybody that nobody, not even the minority, has said that Woyome was not part of Vamed and Waterville. When they started the negotiations, nobody has ever said that. All they are singling out to tell Ghanaians is that this thing was crafted by Woyome and it's being paid to Woyome. And that is not the truth of the matter. I'm coming. You said, is there any contract? You asked whether there's a contract.
You see, Victor, I think also that for the benefits of all of us,
yes,
if you are talking about the company, that's legal entity, and extending to show how Woyome was involved.
Was a part of it, yes.
You might be doing yourself a lot better than suggesting that Woyome as a single individual may have had, contract explicit with the government.
No, he never had a contract explicit with the, with the government.
Just a bit here, for Nana Kumia's benefit. This is supposed to be a letter that came out of the Office of Parliament, and it was done on the 9th of May 2006. And this letter was written seeking to encourage the Export-Import Bank of USA to facilitate the process of getting monies, as it were, to help build this particular stadia. And it states here in paragraph 3 that to this end, the government of Ghana has signed contracts with Waterville America Holdings Incorporated for the execution, construction, and rehabilitation of selected stadia projects, which are absolutely essential in order to comply with the requirements of the international football authorities. And this was copied to the Ministries of Finance, Economic Planning, Education, Science and Sports, the local organizing committee, and a host of others, including Waterville.
Well, I don't know why Parliament is writing to.
No, it was a committee
government.
signed by Joe Ansa.
Yeah, a committee of Parliament writing on behalf of government. I find it strange. But, my brother,
and that was in 2006.
The government contract or working relationship was with Vamet and Waterville, not with Woyome. Woyome is not suing on behalf.
So that is
of
clear
Vamet.
that there was a contract between Waterville and the government of
Even
Ghana.
the contract, you let's say, I don't want to get into it, but I have documents here that showed you there was no contract. The contract process was not completed. Indeed, the Attorney General himself, in the writ that he has taken to the court, says in the writ, and I'm holding the writ here, that in paragraph 3 of the Attorney General's own writ, he says that, paragraph 5, look at it, the government of Ghana initiated a procurement process for the award of the contract to rehabilitate the stadium, but cancelled the procurement process before it was completed. So, but at least there was some arrangement going on between Waterville and government. Not Woyome. Woyome is suing, he says that I have gone and looked for €1 billion for the government of Ghana. Not to build only stadium. Hold on. Not to build stadium, but to build hospitals and all kinds of stuff.
Nana.
So he in his personal capacity.
Now let's move on.
I won't go straight. He asked a question whether there was a contract. And I will read a cabinet memo that was written. No. That was written by Osafo Mafu. This was in 2005 during the era of NPP. When this contract, this Vamet and their contract, and when the president came and insisted that he's been to China, he wants the contract to be given to China, a Shanghai company, to build a stadium. And they advised him that Shanghai company has not bidded. They had not gone through the procurement processes.
Did he talk about a contract?
No, wait.
Victor,
and here, Osafo Mafu, if you allow me, let me make it. Osafo Mafu said a word of contract in the cabinet memo, page 4. He says that we are at the last stage of procurement process. Now, and he says, in accordance with the Procurement Act 366, if a tender is ascertained as successful by the Central Tender Review Board, a notice of acceptance and tender will be given to the successful tender. A written procurement contract is expected to be signed for the contract to come into effect. Then he goes on, it is expected that by 15th of August 2005, the successful tenders will be endorsed by the Central Tender Review Board and approved by government before the procurement contract will be assigned and site handed over to them. Then he goes on, when he was president, asked him that he wants value for money, that he did not want the procurement process that they have gone through. They have never tendered to go on. When he insisted that it should be abrogated, he comes and said, on the other hand, that the recommendation arising out of the tender will be set aside. We should marshal our forces and make a decision which we can defend nationally and internationally, which he knew that when they abrogated that contract with Vamet and Waterville, which Woyome was part of it, in 2005.
So
they knew that.
How do you reconcile this?
No,
Victor,
they knew that they were. I'm coming.
How do you reconcile this with the statement of claim that the AG took to court and didn't seek to depose explicitly that there existed a contract?
Yes. The AG comes and see. You see, we should not forget that AG's place is like a chamber. She asks for all the MDAs. Right?
So what, somebody did a study job?
No, the MDAs. It's the technocrats that who sits down. The MDAs, when there is a case that comes, the AG would ask all the MDAs that what defense do you have? It's just like the police has gone to beating somebody. The AG is not there. The AG would ask that what is your defense to this matter?
And then what?
Right. So, based on advice, after doing the investigation, they realized that there is a liability, even way back in 2005.
Which advice?
The advice that we owe Vamet.
Who gave that advice?
Oh, it is here. Even we had a cabinet subcommittee which even said that looking at Vamet's financial arrangement, it was prudent for the government to go along with it. It was a subcommittee during their time. It is not like, you see, they want to track it as if it's something new that came during the NDC regime and they crafted something and paid money. Now, when on Ministry of Finance,
do you have Ahmed's letter disclaiming all that? You want me to read it? But listen, on what you've read, Safo Mafos.
Yeah, Safo Mafos.
My brother,
yes.
you know you're
I think you should say something.
No.
You know, no, I'm just.
Samson, I always believe that. Let be a lawyer from the other side. Let's sit down and tell Ghanaians the facts. Give them the document so that they can see that.
That's what we are doing.
Yes.
But you see, you read the letter. The letter that you read.
Yes.
You are like you, so I won't call you a liar.
Oh no,
you have been dishonest. The letter that you read from Safo Mafu, you left out portions. Let me tell the portion that you read. Yeah. On page 4 that you read, award of contract.
Yes.
Safo Mafu says in the memo to cabinet, we are in the last stage of the procurement process.
Yes.
The bid is now with the Central Tender Review Board.
Yes.
Do you understand that? We are in the last stage. The tender process has not been completed. The bid is now with the Central Tender Review Board. In accordance with the Procurement Act at 633, which you said 366. If a matter is ascertained as successful by the Central Tender Review Board,
and this is
a notice of acceptance.
He's read that. And this letter was written on the 27th of July 2005.
Yes.
But Nana, there is a document purported to be the contract which all the necessary parties had signed, which was in 2006.
You know that the works that Waterville and Vamet did, those works were evaluated and paid. You know that?
Yes, I'm aware.
So what we are talking about is not Vamet and Waterville. We are talking about the payout to Woyome. Unless Waterville and Vamet, they can't see on their own behalf. The works that they did. Now I have letters here to show you the evaluation that was done, the payments that were recommended, the payment that was done, the receipt from Vamet, acknowledging those payments.